So we continue with our Kitzur class, and we're on class number 3.
Yes.
Okay, and we start with Chafetz Chaim lesson a day, and we're on a page, what is it, 22 on this, right? And we continue with the next thought, right? So it says, it starts with right here in this world. You have it? It's like
Chafetz Chaim.
yes. So
Right
no.
here in this world and everyday life. I got you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right here in this world and everyday life, the reward of Shmiras Halashon shine brightly enough for anyone to see. When King David wrote, "Who is the man who desires life?" he was speaking of the beauty and peace Shmiras Halashon imprints upon the life in this world. So we're going to use this line very often, and this is from the Hilim number 34. So we say it on Shabbos morning, 34. Well, whenever you have chance, just check this. So it says, who is required, who wants to long life, has to guard his tongue. That's what David Hamelech says. Yeah. Okay. So it's already reward in this world, right? Not in the next world. The next world for guaranteed, but even in this world, you derive some benefits. To understand why the Torah focuses so intently on speech, one need only to take only a cursory look at how the words act upon the world. One person can enter the room, speak a few angry words, and quickly set everyone around him at edge. A few careless words between the friends can be all that is needed to forever alter the tenor of their relationship. So, and it's true, like so somebody, you're having a good time, and somebody comes into the room, and he makes this, or she makes this stupid comment, and like very angry, and everybody, like, especially if it's a host of the house, right? So, okay, you don't know what to do. Should I run? Should I say somebody is calling me, or I don't know what to do, right?
Right.
Okay, or some carols, like friends for many years, and then one said whatever he said, and it was very insensitive and stuff like that. So, of course.
Yeah, there's tension in like a house or anywhere,
Yes.
like right away.
Yeah, and one sentence is enough. So they were friends for, I don't know, for 20 years, and because of the one stupid comment, so now they cannot stand each other. One derogatory word, right, which labels another person as slow, sloppy, or spoiled, can make the perception true in the minds of all who hear it. So basically, so what it says here, it's very interesting. So somebody just labeled, or he said as a joke, this guy is so sloppy. So even though these people do not know him as a sloppy person, right? But in their mind is a subconscious, they're going to store this information. And when the time comes, it could be a week later or 1 month later. So I see some like background noise. What is it?
Yeah, it's
the water.
So I'm at my grandma's during this week.
Okay, no.
There's a washing machine. It's the only place I can sit.
Okay, no, that's good. No worries. No worries. Okay, no problem. Worries. Okay, so it says label when sloppy. So somebody said when sloppy, so it stores in the subconscious, as I said, and then it's going to pop up in that person's mind. Somebody who just heard it.
Or I don't know if you ever noticed it, but I while you're talking to me, you know, like I'm starting to remember like times when like maybe, you know, about like my secular days, like when I've even thought of stuff, like, so I come into work and like I see something that I don't like about this person, like my coworker, let's say.
Yes.
And just me thinking about it, like I just feel like it set the whole energy off. Like if I was thinking like Lashon Hara about it, like, you know.
Yes.
So it's just interesting how like speaking it probably even much more. Because, like,
much more.
Thinking
Yeah.
about it, it's
Yeah.
probably internal damage. If
Yes.
you're saying it, it's already like external.
Yes.
I think, right?
Exactly. Yes. Okay. Continue. Or the words can affect miracles. Words of encouragement can dispel despair. And I know, like, that there are a few people that I respect very much, and I respect their whatever they say. And if I hear compliment from them, it's like I'm in heaven, seventh heaven.
Yes.
You understand? So, and what he said, only one sentence. He said only one sentence, and it means so much to me. Even for someone in a terrible, difficult situation, okay, can dispel despair, even in someone in a very terrible difficult situation. Words can have the power to take what is ordinary and make it holy. That's also big difference, right? So by you saying something, like it made it holy. For example, they turn a glass of wine into kiddush. So basically, it was a regular wine,
right.
And you say the blessing, you say the text of the kiddush, and became the holiest of the holiest, the wine of the kiddush.
The wine itself.
The wine itself.
Right.
The loaf of bread into the offering. Offering meaning on altar. A man or a woman into a couple. So how people get married? By some words, right? This officiating rabbi say some words and they get married. That's it. You understand? This ring is only one of the things that needed. But even without ring, they can get married.
Right.
If he gives her, for example, any valuable, and she said, and he said, with this bubble gum, are you going to marry me, or this piece of candy? And she said, absolutely. So you don't need the ring. Okay.
So, like, with words or certain actions, you can make something like holy.
Yes.
Just as you
from nobody. So it was two separate people, single him and single her, and now after saying these words, they become a family, Jewish family.
Right.
It cannot get more holier than that.
Yeah,
Jewish family.
absolutely.
Right. So a man and woman into a couple united through the sanctity of the Jewish marriage. But more than anything, words are the sole medium through which the Jew fulfills the purpose for which he was created, to communicate HaShem greatness in the presence in this world. So it's one of the things that why the Jews were created in this world, is to communicate, as I say, HaShem greatness. And how you can communicate? Only through the words. So all of the prayers, all of the psalms, all of the praises going through the words. Okay, so we can stop here. So we finish this idea and continue. It's like smaller ideas, but we're going to cover all of them. Mizrat Hashem.
I'm looking forward to getting that book. So
okay, yeah.
A lesson a day. So
yes,
if it tells you like how to navigate your language.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. But does it teach you how to navigate, like when people say anything, like
all of it's going to be many like practical situations.
Okay.
Exactly, like with a co-worker working, you can say work. You cannot say between spouses. Can you tell lashon hara to a spouse, or if it's about your child, right? To his mother, is it allowed to say or not, right? Or between siblings, right? To their parents, or between the siblings about the third sibling. Okay.
Well, that I know from Noah. I don't even think you're allowed to do that, right? I think there's something in Noah.
Yeah. So it's actually the bottom line. It's between anybody. So there are no exceptions. Just because he's 5 years old, so you cannot tell lashon hara about him.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we continue with the laws of the early morning, right? And we're in Siman 1 and C4. So page 8.
Right.
Okay. So it says, therefore. So we said that what we left off. So he has to be swift as a deer, brave and strong as a lion, right? To get up and do the will of HaShem. Okay. So number 4, therefore a person must strengthen himself like a lion, and immediately upon awakening from his sleep, and having said Modeo Ani, so it's the first prayer that we say, he should arise with alacrity. Alacrity means like enthusiasm, right? For the service of HaShem, may he be blessed and exalted. Before the evil inclination overcomes him, with arguments and excuses to convince him not to arise. So it's basically who is going to be first. Eitzer Tov, meaning the good inclination, or Eitzer Hara, the evil inclination. For example, the evil inclination will approach him by with cunning to convince him to remain in bed in the winter and say, like here, this this snowstorm, right? When it's like a few days last week, right? We had snowstorm. So on that morning, we didn't have a minyan. Even though, I mean, it was not that bad, but many people they did not come. I mean, whatever many, we missed 3. That's what counted. So unfortunately, right? So it says it's winter and says, how can you rise so early in the morning? So when it's so cold and still the cold is still so great. So it's very cold and it's a lot of snow and maybe it is slippery. So I was walking on a road. The road, almost no cars. Of course, nobody shoveled, but you can walk on the road. There is always think if you want to do it, you're going to do it, right? But Eitzer Hara, like whatever he said, he's not lying. We have to understand he's not lying. He gives all of the logical excuses.
Well, that's what I felt him a lot on Sukkot, like because that was like right when I became religious. And I was staying at my grandma's, and I spoke to Rabbi Yaron, and he was like, you don't need to get a sukkah, but you should try to eat under one, because you can go out to eat.
Yes, yes.
So I was sleeping. I was planning to stay at my grandma's, and I was like, it was like I could have gotten a sukkah, but my answer, I was saying, no, you don't need to, you don't need to. It's not a big deal. So I took a nap and I woke up and I just had this very bad feeling like I need to get a sukkah. Like if I don't get this now, I'm gonna regret it. So I went to go get it and I beat my Yetzirah, but
So you got it? You got the sukkah?
Yeah, I got a 1-person sukkah with 2 hours left.
Exactly. Wow.
It was on Shabbos sukkahs this year. So it was Friday and I took a nap at 12 and I woke up at 2:30 and I was like, I gotta get a sukkah. So I ran out and they were all sold out. And I went online. Everything was closed or closing. I found one that's closing in 15 minutes. I called them. Nobody picked up. So I'm like, I was told that if you're chasing a mitzvah, Hashem's gonna make it happen.
Yes.
All of a sudden, I get a text message. I don't know from who, some random number call me here or text me here. And I'm like, who is this? So I respond, I'm like, who is this? They're like, this is a sukkah. And I'm like, what? I was like, where did you get my number from? So I was like, yeah, I need one. And he's like, yeah, meet me here. And I ended up getting one. And then I was stuck in traffic. Then I felt like the Yetzirah purposely,
yeah, of course,
tried to ruin my mood,
of course,
because I was so happy when I got the sukkah,
Wow, unbelievable story.
Yeah.
But where did you put your sukkahs?
So I didn't stay at my grandma's. I went back to my place in Staten Island. So I live on the first floor. My apartment's in the side of a house. But my house is not in the basement. It's first floor, with the ground. So I put it right outside my door. So as soon as I open my door, I just walk inside the sukkah.
And it's not under any canopy, right?
No
balcony. No trees. No tree branches. Okay, beautiful. Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah, no tree branches.
Okay, so we're going to learn about it also, Mizrat Hashem.
Yeah.
Very good. Wow, very proud of you. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay. And during the summer, so and plus, just heading to this winter excuse, it's very dark outside.
Yeah,
very dark.
You don't want to do anything.
Yeah. And during the summer, it will attempt to convince him by telling him How can you arise from your bed when you have not yet had your full sleep? All right, 14. So commentary. During the summer months, when the sun rises early, a person may feel that he has not yet slept enough at the time of by the time the morning arrives. Right. So of course in the winter people usually go sleep earlier, or with other similar arguments. For the Yetzer Hara, even inclination, knows very well how to ensnare people and ensnare people in traps from which they cannot break free. So basically, so if you try to lay in bed for extra whatever minutes, he's going to find excuse why not, guaranteed. So as soon as you said Madani, get up, right, run.
Yeah.
Therefore, a conscious Jew who fears and trembles to obey the words of HaShem must overpower his evil inclination and do not listen to it. So I'm doing it no matter what. No, I'm doing it. No, I'm going. I have to be there first. In the synagogue, I got to be first. Maybe second, after the guy who opens the show. And even if arising in the morning would actually be difficult due to the sluggishness or the laziness, he should set as his objective the fulfillment of the will of the King of the Kings, the Holy One, blessed be He. Right? So very interesting. So commentary say, rather than deceptive tactics of the Lashon Hara. So he knows himself. But he said, that's what HaShem wants. That's what I'm going to do. That's it. No excuses. Okay, so basically, like I always have this example from Rabbi Mizrahi. So he said, if you would meet a very important official or you have a job interview, so everybody jumps. Everybody jumps. Like one person, I was talking with one person last week, and he said, no, Lev, you don't understand. I'm so not organized, and I miss this, and I am not so sloppy. And I told him, I know in you, it is true unless you go to the job interview. So you would arrive 45 minutes early, and you would have your briefcase, and in that you would have a separate, like extra short, and make extra tie, and you're not going to forget, and you're going to shower 7 times and put perfume, put whatever you need to put. The other hand, right? You're not going to forget. Why? The only answer why is because you think that it is important. So if you set your priorities straight, what is important, you're never going to miss anything. Because this is important, all others can wait. Or even if it's not going to happen, also good.
I had a thought today because I had, while I was at work, getting ready to leave, and I was thinking about, Marv, because Marv, when I stay at my grandma's, I don't get to go to a minyan. Well, sometimes I'll go to a minyan factor if I have time, but usually I'll do it alone, if I can't make it to a minyan. And, the hardest part is doing it alone, because you're used to doing it in, minions, and things like that. But alone, it's by the time I'm ready to do Marv, it's late. And I was thinking, what am I going to do to, not feel So I just said to myself, okay, I'm going to, be lazy for HaShem. Everything HaShem does for me, you just think about it in a way okay, he allowed me to wake up. He gave me food. He did this. I can't say a prayer for him. I can't say the one offering prayer that he wants, you know?
Yes.
And that's the way I kind of, when I left work, I was, feeling good that I was questioning that, you know? How can I feel lazy? What's wrong with me? Everything Hashem does for me, I'm going to feel lazy. And now I was all right, good. I'm excited to do HaBRIT, alone or not. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with, alacrity, or do my best.
Yes.
So,
yes. That's great. That's amazing attitude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, because it's everything he does for us. How can I not just do this little thing, a prayer? What is it gonna take 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Big deal.
So, and plus, if you want, there is a great website. I'm not sure if you know, godaven.com.
I use it for to look at. But see, my grandma. I remember when I told you last week that I got embarrassed at one shul.
Yes.
Somebody said something to me like
about what was it? Can you tell me, or you know?
Yeah, he's like, okay, so there was maybe like this shul could fit like I don't know 200 people. Like it was huge.
Yeah.
And I think there might have been like 15 people. Everybody's like 20 feet away from each other. And, I see some people didn't wear masks. The people who were in the front wore masks. I was all the way in the back. So I was like, I see some people that didn't wear masks, so I didn't put mine on. So, first of all, they were doing the Torah readings, which was weird because it was a Wednesday. And I was like, what's going on? And I felt like maybe they were selling aliyahs at that point.
No. Wednesday was Hanukkah, so we read Torah on Hanukkah.
Oh, so they did the Torah for that.
Okay.
Okay. So I took off my mask, so I didn't put my mask, but I had my mask on the table, and this guy walks from the right, and he's like, "You're not wearing a mask either," and then he called me the muck, only with the S in front.
Okay, wow.
And I looked around. I'm like, I didn't even say anything, but like, even if I could, before I could say like my mask is on the table, I didn't say anything. He just walked away and called me that word, and I just looked around. I was like, ooh, okay.
Okay.
Just thinking. So, and I found that shul through GoDaven, and I don't know, like I'm looking for a good shul whenever I sleep here to go in the mornings, for chakras, because I'm all the way on Brighton. And there's not a lot of shuls here that do chakras. They'll do like mincha. Chakras is like, not on there.
Okay. I don't know any shuls there. Yeah, good shuls.
It's tough. I mean, there's.
Okay, so continue. So and to assist himself in a battle, he should take to heart the fact that if a person were to summon him for some lucrative business deal, or collect a debt, or someone were to call him to save his property from the impending loss, such as a fire, were to break out in a city, or the like, certainly he would manage to arise immediately with alacrity. Right? If somebody said, if you want to cash your check, cash now, the bank is going to close in 25 minutes. The guy is going to jump, and he's going to run, and he's going to sprint, and he's going to skip the steps. There is no problem. You understand? So it's all, like, for me, it's all about your priorities. That's it. It's only about that. Because of his affection for money. Right, so everybody understand money. Right, and he would be not be neglectful. So if he's going to lose money, for sure he would be wake up early, would not be neglectful. Similarly, if he were required to go somewhere for the service of the king, right, or as we said, a job interview or whatever, he would rise with alacrity. And he would not be neglectful, lest he be accused of neglecting his duties, right? Because king pays him, or he's using him for free, doesn't matter. Or he would rise speedily, so that they find favor in the eyes of the king. So he came first to greet the king, right? How much more so for the source of the King of the Kings, the Holy One, blessed be He, should a person take care to arise with speed and alacrity. Moreover, if anyone accustoms himself to this course of arising immediately, 4 times or 5 times, it will not be difficult for him thereafter. So this principle is actually, it's not only about rising, it's about all of the other things in your life. So all of the difficulty that you have, so after you overcome yourself 4 or 5 times, so Eitzachara would leave you alone. At least he would do it weaken the pressure on you, because Hashem would say, so that's how it works. So that's enough. You had your chances to stumble the guy. He's not he's not succumbing. So just leave him alone. That's enough. So it does not mean that it's forever. From time to time, he's going to try, but it's not going to be as intense as these 4 or 5 times.
It's not like the frequency is not going to be the same, right?
And the frequency and the pressure is not the same. So
have you what have you done that that Yetzer Hara eased up on you? Can you recall anything from yourself?
Oh, good question. I think everything, from this getting up. But for me, it's many times I say to Yetzer Hara, so one day I'm going to sleep in, but not today. Not today. Today I'm going to come. No, our sages say, so you have to use against him his own tactics, and one of his tactics is delaying, procrastinating, right? So he would not say, look, whatever you want to do is very noble act. You're going to do, but not today. Today is not a good day. So maybe tomorrow is going to be sunny. It's going to be 75, 85. You're perfect weather, and you off. You remember, you off tomorrow. You have all of the time in the world to do that. But not today.
Yesterday you did good,
So exactly. So we have to use his own tactics because it works, right? So I said, okay, you want me to miss 1 day without me? I'll do it, but not today. Not today. Today is maybe when I feel weak or sick, God forbid, or this or that, another day. And so far, I never missed. Okay. Okay. Therefore, so Bezras Hashem. So, but on another hand, you ask Hashem for help. You're trying to work against your evil inclination, but you constantly ask Hashem for help. With everything, with the smallest details. Right? So, for example, before our class, I always pray that Hashem put in my mouth to say whatever you need to hear. Whatever you need to know. Even if it doesn't say here. Okay. Furthermore, one who attempts to purify, that is to improve himself, is helped by Hashem, as you said. So, but the first step has to come from you. So you start the journey, and Hashem is going to help. But it comes from you. Okay.
Like your own Hishtadlut.
Yes. So you have to start. You have to ask for help, and only then Hashem helps. But if person just asks, Hashem is not going to help.
Right.
Okay. Ishtadlus is a key. Yes. So Sif number 5. If it is possible for one to arise early and at midnight and to recite the TIKKUN Chatzos, it is the most meritorious, as it is stated in Eicha. Arise, cry out at night, at the beginning of the watch shift, etc. So let's see. We have a few commentaries. So Chatzos, TIKKUN Chatzos, Chatzos it means half. So it could be like noon, Jewish noon. I'm talking about Jewish noon, or a Jewish midnight. Right. So it doesn't. So TIKKUN Chatzos is a special prayer about the destruction of the temple. Commentary. Since the night is appropriate time for the morning, so that's when we mourn, as indicated by the verse cited in the Kitzur, righteous Jews arise in the midnight to recite the prayers over the destruction of the temple and ongoing exiles of the Jews. So there is a special text. These prayers are known as TIKKUN Chatzos. Right? So, okay, so 18.
I've heard about this prayer. I've woken up many times at midnight, like accidentally. And one night I woke up and I couldn't find this prayer anywhere. I didn't know where it was. I wanted to say it.
TIKKUN Chatzos.
It wasn't in my sitter, I know that.
No, it's not in a sitter. I mean, it's not for simple people.
Yeah, definitely
It's
not.
not, but I mean, I don't see. I would suggest that you don't do it. There are
Okay, yeah.
many other things that are more obligatory than this, as they say that this is for special people. So let's leave it.
No, I only thought I didn't wake up purposely to say it. I woke up because I just couldn't sleep. Usually, it happens to me once in a while where I wake up literally right on midnight, and I can't sleep, so I'll stay up and I'll study.
Exactly.
So one night I woke up and I was like, I read about this TIKKUN. So I was like, where can I find? I can't find it. It's not in my sitter. I looked online. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was like, this must be something not for me. So I just didn't do it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the best TIKKUN. No, it's not the best. So if you study Torah, it's actually is better. It's actually better than this.
Okay.
It's Torah helps from everything. Okay, so it says arise and cry out at night. 18. Okay, great job. Okay, so we skip. It's like okay. The Hebrew word rina refers to the loud outcry. Call rina. So there is a shul in what is it, in Jerusalem called Kol Rina. Okay, Kol is a voice of Rina, of outcry. Usually it's used to indicate great joy, so it's like a song, right? But in the verse called cited by Kitzur, it refers to cry of the morning of destruction of the temple. See however note 25 below, alternative interpretation. Okay, so it says the beginning of the night. 19. Each night is divided in 3 watch shifts among the angels who sing the praises of HaShem. So it's like first it's literally, right? So the Jewish day is divided in 2 parts, day and night. So day is 12 hours, but seasonal hours, right? And night is 12 hours. So it depending on a season, meaning in during the what is it during the winter, so the hours are shorter. So it's not the 60 minutes, it's like 45 minutes, whatever is it. It says in the calendar. Okay, continue. 19, it was 19, 1 second. This practice is similar to that the Holy One, blessed be He, who laments over the destruction of the temple at that time. So HaShem laments, and we should lament. As it says in the verse Yirmiyahu 25:30, HaShem calls out on high, and from His holy dwelling, He raises His voice. So HaShem had to destroy the temple, and He feels sorry about the temple, of course. So it's not only us. He feels sorry. So they say, of course, if he feels sorry when he does not need the temple, so needless to say, how we should supposed to feel sorry. He calls out over the destroyed palace, and he proclaims, "Woe to my children, for due to their sins I have destroyed my home. Right, and I have burned my sanctuary, and how I have exiled them among the nations. Exiled them among the nations. Exiled. Yeah. So basically, so it says. So one of the things that you probably saw many times in Mishnah Brura, when Mishnah Brura says, because of our many sins. So we do this or that, we lax in this absorbance or that absorbance, we're not careful with this or that. So it's like one leads to another. As we said before, so a reward for a mitzvah is another mitzvah. I don't know if we've ever said that. Probably we did not.
Mitzvah is
another mitzvah.
Yeah. Rabbi Yaron said it.
Yeah. It's our from our Pirkei Avos, right? So what does it mean? So you given a new opportunity. It's like to make more spiritual reward, right? And And when somebody does averat, so it's the sin. So the punishment for the sin is a next opportunity for even bigger sin. That's his punishment. So it's not easy to break the cycle. So it's better not to go that direction at all.
Right.
If, however, it is not possible for him to rise at midnight, he should at least strive to arise before the first rays of dawn. Okay, so today is, in the winter is not that difficult. So dawn is, I think today, if I understand it correctly, actually I don't. It was 6, whatever. It was before 6, so it's very simple to raise before the dawn.
Wait, dawn is before 6?
Today, I don't know. You want me to double check? I can double check.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I have it on my app.
So the Talis and feeling was today. I think they say 6:23 or whatever was it.
For Talis and Tefillin.
Yes, but it's later. It's after dawn.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's proper time. It's not like, so it's proper time. So it's a little later.
So it's like nets, right? Around nets, I think.
Yes.
That's nets.
Yeah. So that dawn. Okay. So dawn today was 5:48, and earliest Talis and feeling was 6:22.
Yeah.
When they say nets, I think it's sunrise.
Okay. Hanet's right. It's like 7:17.
Yeah, 7:17. But we start like, you can do many things before that time.
Right. You could do tefillin, shema, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't do tefillin before dawn. Like
Actually, you can.
Or you can't do the blessing of tefillin.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So 1 second. Before the, so as King David of the blessed memory said in Tehillim 57:9, I will awaken the morning. So he awakens before the morning, right? Meaning I will awaken in the morning. The morning will not awaken me. That's amazing saying.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that one.
Yes. So commentary number 20, Tanhuma, Besalachta, chapter 10. Rather than being awakened by the light of the new day, I will arise while it is still night, and await the morning. So basically, so this these people that they're trying to do like the earliest prayers, it's not easy. Like it's easier to get up at the specific time, certain time, all year around.
Right.
But for them, it's like changes. So it's not easy for the body. That's the praise is better,
right,
bigger, right? So it's like, especially like when it's going closer to the winter. So like every day it's like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes a day. No, not 5, like 3 minutes. So, but end of the week, so next week it's 10 minutes difference. So it switches a lot. Okay, continue. Obviously, the King David attached the significance of the rising before dawn, even though the ideal time to arise at midnight. Okay, so the King David himself did arise at midnight. Okay, continue with Kitzur. And after the midnight as well, one can recite TIKKUN Chatzos. Okay, commentary. So basically, not exactly at the midnight, but even after, whenever he woke up. Although the optimal time for TIKKUN Chatzos at the midnight, but it cannot be said at midnight exactly, because it text takes, I don't know, like maybe 20 minutes.
No, yeah,
maybe, so it's not exact. So you arise, so it would be like around midnight, let's say. And when arising at the hour is not possible, it may be recited later at night. So I think even till the end of the night, I think. Okay, continue. After this recitation of TIKKUN Chatzos, one should engage in Torah study. It's the study of Torah, exactly as you do, right? Each individual according to his ability, with the session of the Mishnah taking precedence over the studies. And through this study of the Mishnah, one can merit fulfillment of the soul. For the Hebrew letters of the words Mishnah is the same of Neshama, the Hebrew word for soul. So basically, why Why saying Mishnah? So there is a tradition that we have not to learn written Torah at night, right? Not to learn, even though some say that because it's at, for example, if you're going to read translation and you're going to read this commentary, it's not exactly the same as a pure text of the Torah, because you might then misunderstand and it's bad spirits up and around. So it's not a good idea.
So it's a good idea to listen to read Musar, like Musar.
Musar, no, Mishnah it means halacha. That's yeah. So everything except the written Torah, but they say even if you read it with commentary, with Rashi, with the art scroll, some say there is no problem. Okay. If one is not capable of studying Mishnah, so Mishnah he should study Psalms and Mandos. Okay, so why the Mishnah? So one of my classes today was a Mishnah. So I'm not sure why saying Mishnah. It's like if you learn it without commentary, even if it's translated in English and any other language, it's not so easy. Like it's like a cryptic text. Like basically you understand every word, but you have no idea what it says. That's what Mishnah is. In most of the cases. In some cases you can figure, but most of the cases, what I learned without commentary, but even in translation they put some meaning, right? So you can figure it's not easy. So okay, so he should recite Psalms. So Psalms is as you know, it's an easier text. Of course you would not understand what it says because Psalms are very, very deep, but at least some like basic idea you can get.
Yeah. Okay. I have Psalms with like Rashi commentary that I read. I got for Rosh Hashanah at one point just to read them.
Yes, it's amazing. That's amazing. Rashi is amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
So all right. So okay. Continue. Commentary number 22. When the temple stood and the sacrifices were offered, it would be fitting for the owner of the to be present, and the time of his sacrificial sacrifice was offered. This applies to the communal offering as well. Of course, however, it would be impossible for all Jews to join owners of the communal offerings, to be in a daily attendance in the temple. Therefore, the prophets instituted Ma'amados under this system. So basically, every person has to be present when they bring the sacrifices. Right? If it's your sacrifice, for sure you have to be there. But even if communal sacrifices, this communal sacrifice is sacrifice for you also. So in some sense, you also have to be present, right? And all of the people have to be present. So basically, when exactly they expect us to work, so that's why these prophets say. So we're going to nominate people from each community, like representatives. Right, and some representative would go to the temple, so from all of the areas of Israel, and some representatives, like the second half, would stay in a shul and say the appropriate things, because they know what time they're going to bring the sacrifice, and then they would switch. So it's like a rotation system. It's very interesting. So let's see what they say. Under this system, the nation was divided into 24 groups. So it's not only nations, but also it started from Kohanim. So David, even though the temple was not built in his time, he divided the Kohanim in 24 groups. Okay, and the representatives from each group were present in all communal offerings on a rotational basis. Additionally, within each town, the representative of the group, whose turn it was to be in a temple, would gather and recite specific portion of the Torah. Sitan is exactly as we say explained, right? So some of them would be there, but of course not too many people, and more would be in a local shul. So basically, in a local shul, they need to be there only for during the sacrifices in the temple. So the rest of the day they can go and work, right? That's it. Called Mados. It has remained a custom among some people to recite this portion of the Torah daily. Okay, we don't do that, but okay, continue. Or study books of ethical behavior, which is Musar. Right. Commentary 23. Regarding reciting Carbonus at this time, see appendix, okay, for editorial glosses. Continue. A lesser amount of prayer or study recited with concentration is preferred over the greater amount said without concentration. So some people, they start praying or they start reading, it's like a bullet machine. That's not what HaShem wants, right? It's better less with concentration than more without concentration. And especially in, I would say during the study, for example, for some prayers, it says clearly that even if you do not understand prayers, for example, you don't know Hebrew, but you can read Hebrew, so you can read, and it's going to be counted as you prayed.
Even if I read it in Hebrew and I don't understand
yes,
but I say it with concentration.
Even without concentration. It's hard to have concentration if you do not understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So wait, if I say it in Hebrew, it counts as a prayer even though I don't have concentration?
Yes, yes. And you have no idea what you said.
So it's better to say it in Hebrew than it is in English?
No, it's not. It's not. So, okay. But
the Amidah. Somebody told me at the Amidah, this was literally in Shul on Saturday.
Yes.
We had like a little study session before we finished out, like before we did the Torah reading.
Yes.
So they said that the Amidah, this is what he told me, that the Amidah, when you say it in English, your prayers don't reach the heavens because they linger there. That's what I was told. If you say regular prayers, if you talk in English and you pray to HaShem, he hears them.
Yes.
But the prayers of the Amidah needs to be said in Hebrew in order to reach the heavens.
Okay, all right. So
I don't know if that's true.
No, it's not true. It's not true.
Okay.
So
I didn't believe it.
So, but you can always ask this person. So when somebody tells you some things and it sounds ridiculous to you, so you can always ask for a source.
For a source. Right?
Yes. How do you know? So you can, and for you can easily check, or if you have that value in Mishnah Brura. We actually, I don't want to jump, but we're going to see it in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. You're going to see with your own eyes. Okay. So there are only few things that are required to say in Hebrew. Few things that you cannot say in English or any other language. And Amidah is not one of them.
Okay.
Okay.
The Shema is, right? Is the Shema?
So Shema, they say very, very preferable. If you're going to say one thing, like from optional, it's the more preferable that you say it in the first line. Shema Yisrael, HaShem Elokeinu, HaShem Echad. Only this line. The rest you can say in any language you want. Okay. Any language you want. But some things it says, for example, and you have to say these words. And she's going to say these words. For example, when, quick example, right, that when a person dies and he did not have children, and now he has a brother, so his brother is required to marry his late father's wife, and she does not want to marry him, and to today's the law, they do not marry. So there is a procedure, and she has to say these words in Hebrew because it's Torah said so. You understand? And some other things when they bring things to the temple, okay, exactly the same text. Otherwise, so basically, my suggestion: do not listen to that person ever, whatever he said. Okay. Rav here taught, whoever engages in Torah study at night merits the divine presence. So whatever you learn at night, it's not for free, right? You merit the divine presence. What does it mean? Commentary. Here's the Kitzur encourages study of Torah at night, even when it is not preceded by TIKKUN Chatzos. Exactly. So just studying. Even if one is unable to rise and recite TIKKUN Chatzos, one should attempt to rise early enough to study some Torah while it's still night. Okay. Well, it's still night. Okay. So continue. So basically, it's very, very important to learn at night if you can. So for example, now it's night, so we learn at night. So you don't have to go to bed to learn at night. right? Okay, continue. Arise, sing. So on the next page, and arise, sing. Out at night, in the beginning of the watch, in the watch shifts, pour out your heart like the water in the presence of HaShem. From Tamid 32b. So Tamid is a Talmud, Masechta Tamid. This verse means to teach us that then the person is studying the Torah at night, the divine presence is with him. So it's very, very chosh, very important, like to learn at night. Our sages of blessed memory said, as Rambam said, so the nights were created only for the purpose of study of Torah. That's what Rambam said.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and the reward at night, it's same like so some people would go take a nap on Shabbos. It's the most stupidest things that a person can ever imagine, because it says clearly that our sages say that one who learns Shabbos Torah on Shabbos day, so it's 100, the reward 100 times more than on a regular day. So go sleep on another day, not on Shabbos day. So I try never sleep.
You try not to sleep?
Not to sleep. Nap. I mean, not to take nap. Yeah. No, during the day. I apologize. During the day.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Our sages of the blessed memory said in Zohar Bereshis 136 that whoever studies at night, Torah at night, is called servant of HaShem. Okay, so, and it says above, Kitzur explained that entire purpose of man is to serve HaShem. Certainly then the servant of HaShem is a title worth striving for. So the best title that HaShem ever gave to a person is Eved HaShem. So Eved HaShem is not, it was given to Moshe Rabbeinu, and it's not servant, but Eved is actually a slave. Exactly, slave. But it's not politically correct to say slave, and people misunderstand, and they say in the slave maybe it's very derogatory, but to be a slave of Hashem is the biggest title that a Jew can have. As King David stated in Tehillim 134:1, all the servants of Hashem who stand in the house of Hashem during the night, 27. So it says here, standing in the house of Hashem implies the base medrash. So base is study hall. So, but even if you are in your house or not in your house, in your grandmother, wherever your house, so and you make this corner. So it's very important that you have a permanent place for davening. If you daven at home, so you have to designate this corner for it. You cannot go to shul, whatever reason, you don't feel well, this and that. So you have to designate that specific corner, that specific place, whatever is it, for a davening.
Yep.
And same with the learning. Like so your place, your house, it becomes like your base medrash, your yeshiva.
Right.
Yeshiva, it means a sitting place. Where do you sit? Okay. Or any place where the Torah is studied. Those who do not, those who do so at night are described as servants of Hashem. Okay, it was 27, 28, Kitzur elaborates. Okay, continue. Even during the short summer nights, when it is not possible to arise so early, at the minimum, he should strengthen himself to arise while there is still enough time while there is still be enough time to ready himself and go to the synagogue and pray with the congregation. So at least, for example, many years, what is many years? Like, I don't know, 15 years or so, I could not pray with the congregation in the morning, because I had to start work very early, and it was very far. So I had to pray at home. So I didn't have the choice.
I did that too in the
So, but then the opportunity became available, and I took the opportunity. So now I'm trying to go to every minyan. Bezras Hashem. But you have to ask for it. You have to pray HaShem, please send me the opportunity. That's what I need. Okay, we stop here or continue?
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Stop.
I'm stop.
Okay, no problem.
But,
Okay.
all right, so tomorrow.
1 second.